Hola chicos, hoy hablamos del por y para, los dos partes de hablar que no hemos hablado mucho, pero son bien para entender cómo hablar mejor y cómo entender mejor el español. Okay, so, ¿qué significa? Primero, por and para are both English prepositions which are used for. And in English, this preposition is used for exchange and destination. Por ejemplo, we paid for our food. That would be an exchange. I'm learning for school. That would be like the destination, the idea. However, in Spanish, instead of using one word, we have two prepositions for this one idea in English. So we have por and we have para. And we use them for different instances when we want to use for. So in English, it's a lot more general. In Spanish, it's a lot more specific. Empezamos con por. So I'm going to give you an acronym to remember both por and para. And the acronym for por is RADTIME. So it's kind of weird, but it's how the letters fit together. So for R, we start with reason. So for the cause of something or the reason for doing something, you would use por. Por ejemplo, no tenemos la escuela por la nieve. So we don't have school because of the snow. So if you want to use because of, then you are going to use por. Around a location. So, hay una basura por aquí. Is there garbage around here? You're not talking about a specific location. You're just kind of saying in the area. So if you want to know if something is in the area, you would use por. The D stands for duration, how long something lasts. Vivimos en la Casa Azul por 3 años. So whenever you're talking about a specific amount of time, you're going to use por. The T stands for through, and this would be through a location. El tren pasa por Panama. Okay, so you're going to use por when you're talking about around a location or when you're going through a location. The I is in place of. Estoy enferma. ¿Puedes trabajar por mí? Can you work for or in place of me? So you can kind of think of replacing the for with any of these because of, around here, duration, through, and in place of. So you can replace the por with the letter reasoning. And it should make sense. Okay, the M stands for means of completing an action, so how something is done. So hablamos por teléfono. How is in this case, speaking accomplished? Through the telephone. Bueno. And the E stands for exchange. Cada día pagamos por el café. Bueno, money for food. Money for café en este caso. Bueno, so whenever you have an exchange, whenever you're talking about money, you're going to use por. And then one more that's not on here that's just good to know. Whenever you say thank you for, you're always going to use por. Gracias por. So those two just go together. Bueno. Okay, RADTIME, por. Ahora, para, perfecto. Okay. The P stands for purpose of an action. Leemos el periódico para informarnos. So the point of reading the newspaper is to be informed. So the purpose. So para can also be in order to, which is kind of this idea, the purpose, in order to know something more. The E stands for expectation or a goal, the idea of for whom something is done. Damos una fiesta para mamá. The goal of the party is for mamá. Okay, so the R stands for recipient of an item. Ese regalo es para abuelito. Whenever you want to say something is for someone, you're going to use para. The F stands for a future point in time. So whenever you have a deadline, you want to use para. Hay que terminar, typo there, la tarea para mañana. Bueno, the deadline is tomorrow, para mañana. The E stands for employment. Trabajo para la ciudad. So if you want to say where you work for, you're going to use para. The C stands for comparison, or it could be a contrast. Miguel es alto para tener 2 años. So this is saying Miguel is tall for 2 years old. Okay, so you're comparing his height to his age, or in this case, I guess it could be a contrast as well for his age. Wow, he's really tall. Bueno. So, comparison, contrast, para. The T is towards a destination. So we talked about por being around or through, and then para is used when you're going towards a place. So that's how you can kind of tell the difference with what you're saying. So María se va para Madrid. Sorry. María se va para Madrid con su familia. So she's going towards Madrid. If we're going to say María se va por Madrid con su familia, we know she's going through it. So it's important to know the difference here because they're subtle, but they are specific. And finally, O is the opinion piece. Para mí, la educación es importante. And you'll see this like usually a caveat at the beginning of a sentence. Para mí, para él, para nosotros, for us, for me. This is the belief we have. Bueno, so tenemos perfecto con para. Bueno, RADTIME por, perfecto, para. Ok, ahora tenemos la práctica. Entonces, llena los espacios con por o para. Y también, por favor, da la razón por su elección. Ok, so si quieres usar para, pone para es porque you're going towards. Bueno, the T. O por es porque, bueno, in exchange. Okay, so you can just write like what the letter stands for. You can just write the letter, como quieras, pero por favor, los dos. Llena los espacios y da la razón. Bueno, buena suerte.